But the ledger. I've seen Mun write a few times. Every time we show up, he hid some books. Wait a minute. My ass suddenly remembers. Are there only a few books? Surely he's hiding the rest somewhere. Hua Sect holds in the hands of many businesses, so it's certainly not possible to have just a few books of accounting. The secret tunnel only the cardinal is allowed to enter. They're probably stored in there. Rather smart. I'd have thought about hiding the books there. I've heard some rumors about that bunker, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes. Very likely, the entrance to the tunnel is in the cardinal's residence. Think about it. Brainstorm. Only the cardinal's house is unchanged. Somewhere on Mount Hua near the cardinal's house. The hill behind that house. Maybe there's an underground bunker. If they built it under that hill. Like that, no one will know the exact location of the tunnel. Looks like we're going on a treasure hunt. There's never been a precedent. Think it over. The buttocks decided to get it, what the sons have lost. You open the window. Leap away in the night. Please forgive my brother. It is only for the benefit of our community. If possible, I'll hand them over to the cardinal. The buttocks didn't even forget to hold Theo with a long stick, convenient for digging excavated soil. Middle ass in the night, late to the hill behind the cardinal's house, to find the accounting books. After several hours of digging, he fell to the ground, sighing, God, I'm tired. It's called a hill, but it's as big as a mountain. Finding treasure on a mountain is not easy. You sit on the ground and breathe. We've got to use this. You decide to do something. You put your hands in front of your chest. Concentrate your energy. And banged his hands down. You said this shockwave, if you hit a large gap. That means that's the tunnel we're looking for. At least I thought so. We can't find it. And that big gap is in Kier. It doesn't make any sense. Looking for other ways also pays off. It makes you even more tired. The boy lay on the ground and died. I can't find too much of this. Silent for a long time. You sit up and yell and try again. Again and again throughout the night. And then there's the reaction. The wave had a reaction. My ass suddenly exclaimed. You gather your energy. He thinks something. And then grab the pickaxe again. Find it and dig it. In the joy of the mysterious tunnel, here I am. You start the process of digging to the treasure. It was almost an hour later that his ass went down very deep. Beneath it was a brick wall he touched and thought. The secret tunnel of the Hua Sect is impossible. It's built with each brick. Though you also have to keep important books and treasures. That? You quickly pulled a brick. Keep your eyes on the inside. A hallway. Surely this hallway leads to the tunnel. You see the FLIs talking in your mind. Suddenly, the sound of his footsteps echoed. Middle buttocks silently observed that is AI. The shadow of that person is becoming clear. It's the cardinal. He knew about this place. Your ass looks surprised. After a while, he stopped. In front of a big door, his hand reached up and touched it. The boy tried to look at. I wonder what he's going to do. Your hands are shaking. He watched the old man's every move. You open your eyes wide. Don't do anything. He's standing there banging his head on the door. Middle Cotton thought this was the posture of a helpless man. The mountain is also on the verge of collapse. An abundance of martial arts knowledge and money at that time. Not now. To be the head of such a sect, he must have a great deal of internal anguish. The feeling of having to witness the sect that you've spent your whole life protecting crashed right in front of you, and there's nothing you can do. It's a bad feeling that he couldn't talk to the AI. Inside is a terrifying silence. The boy understood the old man's thoughts. Because everyone relies on the cardinal, that's why. The old man closed his eyes tightly, and his whole body trembled pitifully. So he can only come here to hold back my grief. You feel for the cardinal. The sun was rising, and the cardinal returned. The Chinese took off the tiles to make a big hole. You jumped down. The boy looked at the end of the hallway. Sad to think this is wrong. But there's no other way. Blow up the door, turn your head and look at it. You come closer. Put your hands on the door and transfer the energy. He unleashed a huge force to open the door. But nothing happened. Your gas is even pushed back. It bounces back, maybe you guess. The 9-inch needle must be at least 1 gang thick. This damn door is made of metal. The most durable in the world. Its value is more expensive than gold. The strongest players in the world. You can only scratch this thing. He told me that the Pope was powerless. The problem is we can't open it. My ass is so big in my heart. You look upset and then calmly cross your arm to reason. Big Brother Bun has certainly not reached the level. We can break this door. But he had to go over to get the books. So there's got to be a way to open it without breaking it. What matters is how you feel something. You say this is. He put his hands on the door. You pay attention to the surface of the door. The pattern on this door. It's a slash. He touched the strange marks on the door and thought. 24 Hoa Sun swordsmanship tricks. February 14th, that's only part of it. This is the sword, and here is the sword. This is the sword balance. All of this stuff. It's clear in my mind that it was only yesterday. He touched every brick on the door and understood. This is definitely a clue to open the door. Then he sighed and said it was hard for each other. Then you think about the way Ra used to do it. First, we need to balance the sword, and followed by the willow sword. Then immediately switch to 24 sword Hoa Sun. And it ends with the sword. Maybe that's how you open this damn door. But what kind of monster made it? At least I found a way. There's only one serious problem left. How do you use all those skills? If we were in a previous life, we'd be mosquitoes. But in the body of a child like this, it's different. How to do it, I remember everything in my head. But luck in. Sword At the same time, you have to develop that skill. It's crazy for a kid like this. It's not that it can't be done. I thought you scratched your head and said, I don't like that way at all. You touch your stomach. The knitting inside lit up. The light of the sky began to change. A purple color gradually appeared. You said you were in bed for a few months. Just a little is enough. Knitting radiates a purple energy. It's very mysterious. Explain for that. It's called the intra-limb energy source, the preservation of human life since birth. In other words, energy. The use of life force will lead to incalculable consequences. But we have no choice. Your whole body is now under tremendous pressure. You bet this way only once. My only time. With just carrying a child's body. Too much pressure caused internal injury. Blood from the inside begins to flow. You wonder if it's possible. It doesn't have to be possible. My body is starting to feel bad, and I have to do it now. I said take a step up. You're not allowed to lose 7. He swung the sword. It's just the first step, but your body is getting worse. Your hands start to shake. You feel so heavy. Your health and your health are not enough. I can't let go of your hand for a moment because of the pain. Suddenly clasped to the sword. You remind yourself again. Not allowed to give up. Balance the sword, and then the willow sword. From willow sword to 24 Hua Sun sword. No wrong steps. Even though the body is screaming, but the boy with the will to be strong are doing exactly each move. I am the holy swordsman. The last slash was unleashed. But that's when your body hit its limit. The middle butt is falling down. Blood is flowing from your throat. He tried to raise his face to wipe the blood. Breathe and look at you wondering if you can. Please don't joke about my life. The slashes on the door began to light up. The wind blows out from the inside. Feel something bell but facing back. But there's a traffic jam ahead. It worked. The door is opening wide. It was opened, and Nam thought happily in his heart. It's not overpressure. Too much force from the inside of the limb. It's really dangerous. More blood came out this time. Your ass is in pain. The breath is getting weaker. Brush my tongue trying to stand up. America seems to be in bed. 2 months from now, father. It's all about making us bedridden. Stand up one leg and stand up. The door was wide open, welcoming the boy. My ass wiped the blood from my mouth. Then smile and say, "Let us see what you hide in this cave." The peach sword Hoa stepped inside. The door is opening. The buttocks are inside. This room is really all books. Too old again. There are only 3 bookshelves with a small room. It's easy to understand. To build a tunnel the size of a 9-year-old permanent metal, I don't know how much money to spend. Brother always runs out of money. How much money must be? You used it to build this tunnel. There's an old book on the shelf. You haven't even flipped inside. Here it is. The sex property inventory is here. To make sure he probably done a lot. SAO from the books of the Economic Management Board. Financially, you're good. We're saved. Some 3 of you traders are numbered. Why is it so strange? You just stuffed all those accounting books in your shirt. It naturally stops. In a tunnel like this, there's only paperwork. He should have hidden a lot of gold and treasure. Don't worry about the big stuff. It's like preserving the prosperity of the school. And preserve your meat and alcohol consumption. For example, what kind of treasure is boring? At least this book is very valuable. Let's see what it says here. Maybe it's my brother's adult story. He. In the cotton gawk at every page of the book. This book. To record the esoteric moves of the sect. But wait. It looks like it's never been used. I see. These are martial arts books that the sect removed from the program. Big Brother Toothman. He's the kind of person you can't throw away what's associated with the school. Maybe he thought that. Keep them here. It will help future generations remember their origins. Someone who can't forget the past. If the first bookshelf, to put the books, related to the management of the sect. The second shelf, it's a symbol of attachment. Personal of the first teacher with his sect. Please rest assured to rest. I swear to restore our faith. It's even more. Our paint will be much stronger than before. That look of choose us, show me the fire of determination in you. How big is it? You repressed the pain in your heart. Look at the next shelf. This third shelf has only one roll of paper. Chew but opened. It's a letter from the head of SAO to you. Dear those who are reading this letter, perhaps the leader of the sect of the future generation, I have a few words for you. The role of the head. It's not just the head of a faction. If the person reading these words is really the first price, maybe you've understood that already. The real people, laying the groundwork for the development of the sect. It's the disciples and the younger generation. Maybe the person who wrote this letter is Brother Toothman. The price of paint from 100 years ago. Work of the top price. It's just protecting and encouraging them every day. Let them always strive to achieve their dreams. So please have patience and stay calm. When holding responsibility, it's a first price. Hua Sect is just Hua Sect. A sect filled with enthusiasm and indomitable will that no AI can shake. Even if the power of this sect goes up or go down, it will always be itself. To make sure the spirit of our sect is kept intact through the generations, please always encourage the younger generation to keep the tradition, the legacy we leave behind. And as your predecessor, I leave you with a great responsibility. Master of the 21st generation of Hua Sun. Jiang Trung, Humus. The middle buttocks moved in every word of brother. Me. He wrapped the letter and put it back inside. Really, you are always teaching the lives of others. Okay, this is enough. The most important thing is the inventory. With it, we will reclaim our business. Wait a minute. If you look closely, this tunnel looks strange. Why is that? Big Brother, the young moon we know, is perfectly ill. For him, everything must be neatly balanced. Even in the room, he even played 2 lights for weighing. People like that don't make this bookshelf look like that. I thought you just walked up to the bookshelf. Maybe it's the middle buttocks use the power to push the cabinet. You think this debt is hiding something? The shelf has been moved. A large space behind the back of the closet. You look confused at that. I knew immediately that a rich light was shining. What is that? Let's see if you open the hatch. I can't believe my eyes. It's a pile of gold. It's all gold, just waiting for you. Keep your precious swords and weapons in order. Gold and silver treasures and esoteric martial arts books. This label. My ass laughed ridiculously. Rah, the whole basement below is several times better. Maybe this much. That's enough for you to build a castle for the sect. We are rich. Chung Myung in the sky epiphany. Just shake your head. The current cardinal. You are bored. Watching cherry blossoms through the window. He sighed again. Another day has come. With many people, the beginning of the day is a good thing. But I just hate it so much. The loan is only 5 days away. Exactly 5 days. Suddenly, there was a cry outside for 7 apples, Cardinal. He wants to call you out. What's so loud, Umgum? It's Umgum. His face looks like he saw a ghost. Master must follow the disciples to find out. Master must see it with his own eyes to believe it. The old man didn't understand what was going on, but where did he go? I saw him insist on following me. You can also be comforting. There must be an emergency. That's how you raise your head. Please show me the way. Gum immediately gave instructions to the cardinal. The two of them walked through the small forest behind the mountain. He gave you. I see some kids around. They're all rolling down to the ground. What are the kids doing? You said they're exercising in the morning. You're welcome. We're almost there. Then Ra is the one who wants to lead the elders, where the buttocks are sitting. Look at what I just stole. It didn't happen. Middle ass. Where to middle ass? My ass went out to meet the two of them. Master is more confused than I am. Oh my God, I've been made to look like a zombie. The face of the middle buttocks is like two pandas. It's the result of going out. Go into the garden with your accounting bags. There is no time to sleep. You have a sports voice. Don't worry about that. Master should worry about this. There is nothing more important than the health of my students. What's so important? He said that, but he still stuck his head behind the tree, where the disciple points. Yellow letters flashed all over them. He's sweating. You look at your ass and you laugh. It's a bag of gold. The sword's inside the tunnel. You took out a part. The student accidentally dug it. Hee hee. Is it true that you accidentally dug it? You really feel unbelievable. I don't even believe this. I'm tired of looking at my ass. Probably training too hard. You should go back and rest. I won't greet you anymore. He gulped, cautiously probing. This gold in front of me is real. Is this a dream? To turn the book. Notary, property, and financial economy of our sect here. Hey. Wait, he hurried back his hand. Be very careful. If I mess up any page, I will. Regret to death will not go away. What's more is, this is not I don't know what book he picked up. When reading, the whole person trembled. Red face up. Spray your nose with blood. Fall to the ground. When I wake up, my mouth is still muttering. 7 peach swords, Hoa letter. He jerked off raw. I have just read the martial arts secrets of the school. So don't get excited. He shouted out, is that the ocean I dreamed of? No, it's all real. Call Hong Kong immediately. Hong Kong is the chairman of the audit committee, economy and finance of the whole district. He's just read through all those accounting books. You keep trembling. They're all real. The elder asked again. Are you sure? Hong Myung replied. The rice is cooked. All the documents found in the treasure. I verified it all. They've all been vetted by the government. No, that proves it. Their content is all standard. Right now, if you want, we can even reclaim it. All the businesses of the group. And that treasure, it's worth at least 100,000 Niang. I thank God in my heart. Thank God. Thank God, it's all good news. Suddenly, he remembered the man who had brought them back. That child, it's what brought us prosperity. Is the savior of this sect. The most important thing is, he banged the table and stood up. A few days later, it's all the way up in the mountains. Reward the few who come. Now, the sound of footsteps has been translated back and forth. The fat guys are likable. You look so rich now. Pull themselves together and mass to the west. Don't push me, I'm going to fall. Fat name, everyone is not used to the rough road. Then I went back to encourage him. We're not that far from Hoa Sun. Come on. In fact, they're all tired of their ears. Of course, there's no reason to come here. But they're essentially devoted to money. I never want to see this mountain again. Wait until you've smoked all the money again. The guys in the back were talking. They're hard to understand. Why do you think? The teacher suddenly called us to paint. Maybe he's finished with the money, right? They're no different. Those are the names. How long has Hoa Sun borrowed heavily? 100,000 incense sticks is not a small amount. He must have called us to pray. He couldn't get a lot of money in such a short time. And prolong this. It's no use to the appointed day. So that's probably why he called us so early. The bridegroom in the back laughed and laughed. He arbitrarily made us come and just to beg. I've never seen a debtor so unscrupulous. Even if he's struggling with money. But still the head of Hoa Sun Sect. Don't use that harsh word about him. But not everyone in there is a bad rich man. Actually, this man is desperate to get his money back. That someone from the Middle South came to this area. Show that many people are interested in the top of the paint. If this guy gets 5,000 sticks today, I won't have to work for the rest of my life. He wouldn't need the store anymore. That's the wish of most people here. Finally, after a long struggle outside the forest, they also managed to get to the remote Hoa Sun Temple. However, I don't understand why they all shyly bow. The second time I set foot in this place. When the merchants came to the gate, they all see the contradiction when they hand down Hoa Sun Sect. Protector for hundreds of years of Hoa province. If they give up the minister today, Hua Sect. It won't even last another 7 days. The eyes of the 7 gods before this temple. They knew it. They climbed up to the mountain to get back debt that has grown significantly over time. After a while of waiting, there are also people who welcome them. I knew I was here to collect debt. The look flooded. Stop when you see the creditors coming. It's hard to breathe. Thank you for coming. Master is waiting for you. Please follow me this way. Chief as predicted. The look of a debtor. It makes no one happy to pay. But we've all had enough of this already. We would like to speak to the chief. The chief of hospitality welcome you here. Thank you for replying to me. And climb a mountain as high as this. Even if you are busy, how can we be busier than the headmaster? We came to visit you. It's also a matter of course. The master was very hospitable. You must be tired. How about we make a cup of tea? But the leader of them interrupted. My boss knows I'm a little too much. But we're just humble traders. And so, we'd like to skip the operation and get straight to the point. Even though it's also a coincidence that has to happen. The old man thought. My hero understands. It seems that I was too careless. In fact, the reason I've called you here is to communicate. Let you know Hoa-san's position in this. I've contacted many people and many places, but we still can't find AI. Ready to lend us money? That's why we won't be able to pay our debts on time. The head creditor. He seemed to have foreseen this inevitable. So, he stared at the suffering headmaster. It changes the voice. Chief, I believe we've given you enough time. Because we are traders, must profit to make a living. We can't give you any more time. That's exactly why we're talking about this. He interrupted. Even though we can't pay all our debts, but we can pay part. So if any of the AIs here, ready, let's delay the return date. I implore you. Please have mercy on Hoa-san to help. Really to the head. I have to lower myself to pray. Like this. It makes everyone uneasy. Half confused and half helpless this air. The poorest of the creditors. They need money to have a comfortable life. I also feel nervous. What's more strange? Look at the situation now. It's going down in a strange direction. More or less, I respect his face. Middle ass on the other side. Take a peek at this play and think about it. You're feeling a little funny. The mayor chose to do this. You seem to be in love with this, because you don't understand why. That he's behaving like that. To send traitors to hell. Or just treat them mildly. It could also be one of those 2 options. But there's one thing that China is certain about, that you're not as simple as you seem. The most important characteristic a leader must have, it's calmness. Although Hua Sect is a place where many monks reside, but it's still rooted in martial arts. So make a wise decision. It's the second nature of a major. Brother in, whether there are elements of a major or not. The leader doesn't seem to be able to negotiate. So refuse, I believe. I've clearly mentioned that. I can't put it off any longer. That even now. Please don't get me wrong. We don't just make demands on the owners. Even though the total amount of debt is up to 100,000 incense sticks, but I believe I owe a personal debt to everyone here. And so should. I'm asking if there's a nice person here. Allow us to delay the payment date or not. The face of him who approves raw as the season. I think this guy is old, so he's a coward. He's using the next pathetic trick. The creditor deliberately asked the opposite. You can immediately pay those who refuse. Do it at your request. The chief knows this. It's hard to get consent. He immediately untangled. Although the Hua Sect has declined significantly compared to before Kier, doesn't mean we have nowhere else to turn. Even though we can't prepare 100,000 incense sticks, we can still pay part. That's why I implore you. In the name of Hua Sun, we're sure we'll pay the debt for those who are willing to be merciful. Today, the creditor can't hear him anymore, he says. Do you know what you're talking about? The poorest man in the entire congregation. He jumped up and asked. So that means if we delay this payment, you will pay us back in the future. That's exactly what it is. The answer made him even more nervous. Chief, let me ask you something that's not strange. If one day the mountain falls, and sure enough, you and everyone here know that well. So don't believe your word and postpone the day of repayment. There will be risks. We can't get a refund. Listen to this. There must be no creditors, but calmly agree. So, why would anyone accept your request? Yeah. I really hear this question. That's what the chief knows best. He sighed. Steady eyes looking at everyone. For the name of Hua Sect and its history. That's not enough. Immediately, the head of the creditor union gave a friendly smile. I can't help but laugh out loud. Ha ha ha, Chief. You're not being ridiculous. Ha 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 has nothing to do with them. You have to put your faith in that shit. The teacher looked silently and could not speak. You say I'm being unreasonable. I want to answer your question with another question. What does the mountain mean to everyone here? The name and history of Hua Sun. There is no SAO value. Who dares to take lightly the name of the mountain? And who dares to deny its history? We've probably weakened over the years. But Hua Sect always goes with the king's love. All the time that Hua Sect has retransmitted its energy and spirit through many generations and continue to share it across the province. I want to humble your request. Let's think about what that means to you. Everyone can feel the silence button inside of them. So I'd like to propose. This time the fat guy kept talking. It's a little lighter though. He points in the opposite direction and signals. Those who are willing to defer will be there. And the eyes won't be right here. However, each be responsible for your own actions. Who decided to delay the repayment date will no longer be protected by the Merchant Alliance. Even if you can't multiply the loan. But who can guarantee this? I want to be a good person again. Now, please choose where you want to stand. The whole crowd started to howl. It seemed shaky at first, before the chief's plea, as well as respect Hua Sect. When it comes to rights, AI